101.1 FM, Fargo-Moorhead.
And welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for joining us this Monday afternoon. 104 right now. We got 59 degrees outside Fargo, mostly sunny skies. I am meteorologist Justin Storm here with Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysoki and the one and only amazing, talented Ag Director Bridgette Readle. Good afternoon, guys. We got a fun show in store for us today, don't we?
Absolutely fun, because we all came in here in a very good mood, so it's going to be a fabulous day.
Oh, it definitely is. And we'll touch on the forecast, but it is looking like it is going to be just beautiful out there.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy it.
Not lasting much longer.
I was just going to say, you know what happens when we say get out there and enjoy it?
That I'm leaving the show right now?
You aren't going anywhere yet, Missy. Not till 2 o'clock.
I will overrule that. I will allow you.
Oh,
you are allowed. So it's just me and Dean today.
Yeah.
Don't stick me with him. Maybe tomorrow.
I'm
not in the mood on a Monday to just deal with Storm.
I'll call it remote. I'll just be in the parking lot. But actually, there's so many cool things that we get to talk about. There's weather headlines. It is still pork month for October, and we have upcoming guests. We were just talking about that in the weather office, which I'm allowed to sit in from time to time with you guys. And we have a lot of guests for this month. We're lining up a variety of topics. Still, of course, our favorite things, beer and beef, but we have others as well.
Yeah, and you were just mentioning before the show started that we're hopeful to get that citrus agronomist from Florida on at the end of the month, hopefully.
Yep, Tim asked me to give him a call tomorrow after they had a chance to clean some things up around his home at Fort Myer and then have a little better outlook on what things could look like. Plus, he's able to assess some of the orchards at that point and be able to tell us how the trees look.
Well, we'll be able to let you know if that orange juice is going to be going up in price or if it's staying the same.
I'd buy stock.
Yep.
Pretty sure we're going to see some prices go up.
Yep. Buy it.
That and everything else. Yeah.
Well, you're right.
Out.
You're right. We can certainly talk about plenty of food inflation if we choose.
And we'll be talking about how the drought is having an effect on barge traffic and on the Mississippi. That's huge.
Very.
At least the potential of it, unless we see some more rainfall here. I know like areas of southern Minnesota now under a severe drought conditions, and that's, Mississippi bleeds all the way down there. You need that water to drain off into the river basin, and if you're not getting it in Wisconsin and Minnesota and even down into Illinois, that's hurting matters.
When someone says drought, I never think of Southwest Minnesota. To me, that's always sort of the abundance of prime weather and rainfall.
See, yeah.
Going along the lines with that drought, Mississippi, barges, shipping, that raises a question. How much do we really utilize the rivers for transportation of grain? Because you think about it, and it's like, all right, semi, truck, train, maybe we'll fly something somewhere. How much do we use that river?
Well, actually, I've got some statistics for you and the formula of what happens when you have to lighten those barges, how much less product you can actually ship. And we should also talk about what goes down, up and down that river. And it's not always about us. We move our product a little bit differently sometimes, too.
Well, we'll touch on that and so much more coming up here on Weather and Ag in Focus. But first, ABC News.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Russia unleashing a barrage of strikes against several Ukrainian cities, including the capital of Kyiv. ABC's Britt Clennett is there with more.
This is the biggest attack on the capital since the beginning of the war, and the first attack on the city center, making this a clear escalation. Putin saying he personally ordered these strikes, warning that if the attacks by Ukraine continue, the answers will be severe.
ABC national security and intelligence analyst Mick Mulroy says the strikes are actually a sign of weakness on the part of Russia and Putin, not a sign of strength.
To do it, I think, acknowledges that he knows he's losing on the ground in Ukraine. He can't figure out how to change that conventionally, militarily. His forces essentially are not matching up to the Ukrainian forces.
Workers at the site of a major complex of refineries crucial for Iran's offshore natural gas production are joining nationwide protests following the death of 22-year-old Masa Amini in police custody. Video from one refinery shows workers chanting "shameless" and "death to the dictator." Jury selection begins today in Los Angeles in Harvey Weinstein's sex assault trial.
Harvey Weinstein's already serving a 23-year sentence for rape and sexual assault here in New York. Now he's about to stand trial in Los Angeles, where he faces 11 counts of sexual assault based on allegations by 5 women. They've said Weinstein attacked them in luxury hotels between 2004 and 2013. Weinstein has said all of those encounters were consensual. All 5 of his accusers are expected to testify. Several other women whose accusations are not part of the criminal charges are also expected to testify, including California First Lady Jennifer Seibel Newsom. Aaron Katursky, ABC News, New York.
Second week of Kevin Spacey's Me Too era trial begins tomorrow in New York. Fellow actor Anthony Rapp has filed a civil suit against Spacey, accusing him of assault, battery, and emotional distress for an event that happened when Rapp was 14. Right now, the Dow is down 90 points. You're listening to ABC News.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
I'm Emma, and if I had it my way, I would be the only one on the road. I could drive at my own speed and not worry about stopping on the gravel road or seeing around the tall corn at the intersections. But I am not the only one on the roads. And I know that more crashes happen during harvest season involving farm equipment than any other season, so I'm going to slow down, pay attention, wear my seatbelt, and be patient. This message is brought to you by the Barnesville FFA and Minnesota Towards Zero Deaths.
Brr, sounds like winter out there.
Did you just say?
Yep, they sure did, and it's coming. Hi, I'm Matthew, owner of Fix It Forward Auto Care. Winter's on the way, and it's time to get ready, including getting new all-weather tires designed specifically for our icy winter weather. Take advantage of our current rebates and availability, and our team can have you ready for winter today. Fix It Forward Auto Care, the name you trust for car repair.
Fix It Forward Auto Care.
And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus, and we're going to touch on the cold weather coming our way. We're going to touch a little bit on the LRC here. We're, 6 days into the LRC now? Almost? So almost a week.
Something like that.
Almost a week into the LRC, and it's been dry. Nothing. Nada. So, but it was similar to that last year. I think we started out rather dry for about the first week, and then we started to turn a little stormy around the 13th of the month. So we'll see how that pans out. I do think it's going to couple of interesting features here that are setting up on the LRC. One is this weekend, as a huge upper low just parks itself north of the Great Lakes into southern Canada. And what that does is basically turn our winds out of the north and funnel in cold air. So if that's one of the parts of the LRC here, which it obviously will be, that's gonna pose some interesting weather as we head throughout the winter months, as upper low parks itself just to our east.
What I like to call it is good ice-making weather.
That's very good ice-making weather. And, you get these little clipper systems coming in behind it. And
of course, when we get into the next cycle, we ain't making much ice with this cold air coming in this weekend.
No.
But we got a little time before we really can start breaking that out.
But it is going to be chilly. So this up and down roller coaster ride in temperatures is going to continue for today and tomorrow and into middle of this week. And then we're kind of stuck in some pretty chilly weather all the way through the weekend. In fact, well, it was our American model. I don't know if I buy that.
We all love making fun of the American model. Last week was a good old joke.
Trying to pump out some light snow or flurries Sunday morning, was it? Sunday afternoon?
Yeah, Sunday morning.
With highs only in the low 40s on Sunday. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but it's not. I don't think it's anything right now to worry about.
Actually, though, think about it. Our ground is still warm.
Mm-hmm.
If we have sunshine and no wind, it's not terrible.
No, we're going to have wind. It's going to be
you canceled me out right there.
It's going to be a raw weekend.
What kind of windy conditions should we be expecting, Dean, this midweek, this weekend?
Yeah.
I'd say north 20 to 30.
That's a good strong wind.
Yeah.
That's a bit. No.
You know, that's good kite flying weather, though.
It is, but it keeps dust off combines
Sure
if you're going the
does.
right direction, so you have less problem. Because we got a lot of sunflowers that are getting ready to harvest, and sunflowers are highly flammable. So the more dust you can keep off machines, the better.
We heard any reports of any combine fires this year?
Not yet. Usually, if there's a report, you want to tell your insurance agent and maybe not everyone else. And the downside really is going to be finding another machine this year. If you burn up a combine, even if you just put it out of commission for a few days, parts availability and getting another machine is tough.
Yeah, you better hope you got a friendly neighbor, but they might not want to lend you their combine after you lit yours on fire.
Not till they're done with their crop, that's for sure.
And I saw some great pictures coming in last night of the, and if you have any, send them to us. We can put those on our social media page, weather at flagfamily.com or ag at flagfamily.com. Beautiful picture of the full harvest moon last night. It was dark and just still going harvesting throughout the night. And it was a gorgeous picture.
Until, you start to see a problem with moisture, or maybe, you're not getting plant material to run through your combine real well. They're going to keep going. And the sugar beet guys just, again, have had a good run so far because it has been dry. You haven't had to pull trucks out, et cetera. So they are making some pretty fast progress.
Yeah, right. And if you're making good progress out there, let's say you're about to, you're pushing records for the amount of time or it took you to get all those beets out of the ground, give us a call, 701-293-9000. Give us a little progress report, how it's going. Is it one of the fastest years? How's the crop looking? Let us know, 701-293-9000. You can call us, let us know. That's also the same number you'll call if you want to join in on our conversation or ask us any questions anytime during the show.
And I think our friend Peter Backham at Mayville, I had a chance to trade some Twitter messages with him, and he said it's been going well, but he's kind of tired. Sugar beets are a 12-hour shift, and he's been on the 2 a.m. to 2 p.m. and I think he goes to combine soybeans after that. So folks are tired. Keep an eye out on the roads and be safe.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's this is the great time that a lot of city folks don't realize what goes into harvest and how much we owe to our farmers
and it's not
and ranchers. And it's just people don't realize that.
And
really
it's
don't.
not a long spurt of time, right? This will be over fairly fast. So just be careful on those roads.
But just how tired our agriculture community has to be right now. And hats off to the wives for
everybody.
for helping everybody.
And Dean makes a great point. We talk so much about the crop harvest. There's a lot of cows moving home right now, and they're weaning calves. This is quite a time of year for a number of activities to be going on. So it's very busy.
Busy. And we're busy too.
We are busy.
Tracking the LRC, and I was looking back, and last year, mid-October, we flipped the switch from a dry pattern to a very stormy pattern, and I don't see that happening until there's a big ridge parked off or along the west coast, and as long as that's staying there, we're going to have a hard time getting anything sustained in terms of precip. Now, I do see that pattern changing third week of this month. It'll warm us up initially, it looks like. Again, assuming our computer models are onto something here, it'll warm us up initially, but it's going to start turning a stormy as well. So that's after about the 23rd.
Okay.
And harvest is about done by then.
Well,
pretty close.
We're wrapping up a lot of stuff. We'll have a big chunk of sugar beets out of the way, a lot of corn. At the rate we're going with soybeans, I guess I'll probably see a progress report later today as far as where we are for harvested acres, but they've been going well. And we're just starting to dip into the sunflowers. We've done that to the further west. They're coming east. I think a lot of the potatoes have already been dug. Mm-hmm. We may still have some potato harvest going on. And when you think about it, there's a lot of crops that got to get taken off in this neighborhood.
There sure is.
Dry beans are done.
That kind of leads into the fun point that we're going to come back to, which kind of goes along the lines of, well, what do we do with all this? Where does it go? How do we get it out of here? And how is this being utilized with the river and that being so low and barge traffic? So we're going to touch on that, which has kind of been in a direct relationship with the drought across the area, causing those water levels to go down. So we'll talk about that when we come back. Remember, if you want to join in on our conversation, ask us any questions or just let us know how the harvest is going out there. 701-293-9000. That phone number, 701-293-9000. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Kevin Wolf, president of Laney's. Do you need your sewer line unplugged? Or maybe you need your sewer line totally replaced? If so, you need to consider Laney's for all of your sewer needs. Our technicians are courteous, clean, and professional, and you can trust that they will get it done right the first time. So for peace of mind, call us today at 237-0543 or visit us on the web at laneysinc.com.
828 is just great.
When the weather cooperates here in the valley, our instinct is to race outdoors and work on that honey-do list. As you mow the lawn, you notice that your steps have shifted, the driveway is beginning to crack, and your new addition is sinking. Hi, Gus here with Precision Concrete Cutters and Ramjack North. Whether it's polyjacking or piers, we have a solution. Call us at 701-280-7038. That's 280-7038.
Are you suffering from neuropathy? Do you experience stabbing pain, numbness, tingling, or burning in your feet? Are you tired of sleepless nights and avoiding life due to pain? If you've been diagnosed with neuropathy or are experiencing pain or numbness in your feet, call us right now before it's too late at 701-929-7505. Neuropathy is a very serious and progressive disease where your nerves start to break down. Eventually, it leads to balance problems, falls, complete loss of independence, and it can lead to amputation. Our program addresses the underlying causes and doesn't simply mask your symptoms with medication. In fact, many patients start experiencing relief from their neuropathy symptoms within weeks. There's no surgery and no use of prescription drugs. Pick up the phone right now and call 701-929-7505. Call us today at Dakota Clinic of Chiropractic at 701-929-7505 today.
Hey Flag listeners, this is Spencer Brandt from Media Shack LLC. We are your one-stop shop for business branding in Fargo. Whether it's decals, banners, vehicle graphics, custom apparel, and much more, we do it and we do it in-house. Check out our website at MediaShackFargo.com for more information, or on social media at MediaShackFargo. That's MediaShackFargo.com for all your business branding needs.
Now more than ever, it's important to support companies and organizations that share our values. Patriot Mobile not only shares our beliefs, but actually does something about it. America's only Christian conservative wireless carrier. And they donate a portion of every dollar to organizations that fight for causes you care about. Switch to Patriot Mobile now. Get free activation with the code FLAGFAMILY. Switching is easy. Go to patriotmobile.com/flagfamily. patriotmobile.com/flagfamily or call 972-PATRIOT. 972-PATRIOT.
Welcome to WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus. I'm Bridgette, Readle, Ag Director, along with Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysoki and Meteorologist Extraordinaire Justin Storm.
You're still paying her to say that, aren't you?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It's my cookie supplier over there. He buys Girl Scout cookies for me.
Yep.
All right. So we are thrilled that you are joining us today. And you can do that by listening to us right here on the radio in the Fargo-Moorhead area. If you'd like to visit with us, you can call us at 701-293-9000. And for those of you who are watching on Acres TV, and if you're not, you should be. You could be streaming us live through Acres as well as through our Facebook page at WDAY just to see what we're doing, because sometimes there are things going on in studio that you can see on the video that you could win. Perhaps someone's going to want to pay attention.
Just for our Acres TV viewers or the live stream.
Or our live stream. So quick.
We're also on YouTube too.
Everyone go look at their video. See what's going on in studio today. That might be a big win for you. Now, we have been hinting heavily at what's going on the Mississippi River. Well, first of all, Dean, you said we are in D4 drought in good chunks of the regular Midwest.
Southern Minnesota and down south into parts of Iowa as well.
All right. Well, that leads us to the fact that because the Mississippi River system is down, barge traffic has slowed tremendously down the river. And most of our grain, our soybeans, etc., don't go down river, but we do have fertilizer that comes back up that river, at least as far as Minneapolis, and then we truck it here or can bring it in by rail. But what's happening right now is if you don't have barges moving one way or the other, or their incredible slowdown means less barges are moving, we aren't getting product availability. It's not as a big problem right now in the fall because most of our fertilizer is in place, but it will be a hindrance come spring when we've got to move product. Most of our beans, as I said, don't go back down the river. They typically go west. And by the way, I keep pointing in all these directions like everybody's watching, and I hope you are on video. Again, most of our soybeans go to the west. Now we'll have some crush plants here in North Dakota that will keep more beans here. But it's a domino effect. If the barges can't move that traditional Midwestern states crop, they start looking for railroad and semis. And there's so much of that to go around. So that starts taking away some of our transportation options, which can be a problem.
Are we running into any of those issues right now?
Well, there's a trucker shortage to begin with. So having enough trucks to move things around have been a problem. The railroad has found an agreement with their labor unions. So things are still running on rail. We'll see how long all of that lasts, right? Because I think that's been very tentative as far as railroad's concerned. But in order to accommodate some of the barges, what they're doing they're putting less product on a barge so that it doesn't sit as deeply in the water and can move a little bit easier. So, for example, if a company needs to transport 100 million bushels of soybeans, they would need 133 barge tows under normal condition. Well, with the water level, they're trying to decrease it. They're going to travel with 75,000 fewer bushels. That's the equivalent of removing the entire production of 3 Midwestern soybean farms from a barge. So it's slowing down that much, and that's 500 acres per farm, 50 bushel an acre is what they're using for that number. And it's not just the depth, it's the width. If you don't have enough water in the channel overall, now you can't move side by side.
Oh, man. We need a snowy winter, don't we?
We kind of do. And for us, it would be effective in the Rockies because that comes down through that river system through Fort Peck, the Missouri, all the way down to where it does conjoin with the Mississippi, but we could use more rainfall out there.
Yeah, and that's tough to do when you have a big ridge parked overhead. I think that's going to change, but boy, you just don't like to see that go on too long.
When the LRC comes back with like you said, we're cycling right now. We're going to have our special soon enough to talk about what the LRC will look like for the next few months. I do think one area of focus for us will be eastern Montana. They have been in drought conditions for at least 2 years now.
Yeah.
That's really affecting their agriculture.
Now they did have a wet spring, if I'm not mistaken, this last season.
In areas, because Billings flooded.
Yeah.
Right around the Billings, Montana area, they had severe floods.
And like you said, we'll see how the LRC sets up. And there might be people just joining us. What's this LRC that these guys keep talking about?
That's a good point.
Yeah, it's a cycling pattern, and it's used to forecast long term. Gary Lezak, meteorologist down in Kansas City, friend of mine, discovered this. And every year is different. Every year has a different cycle length, but basically the weather pattern that sets up over your area during the month of October and November, depending on how long the cycle length is, it could be 30 days, 60 days, 45 days, whatever, that same pattern. So it will cycle back around. Let's just throw 45 days. Let's just say this year's cycle is going to be 45 days. We don't know. We will know, but right now we don't, because the cycle just started at October 6th, and it starts right around that date every year because that's the point in time where the sun sets and it goes into total darkness at the North Pole. We're not sure how those two are intertwined, but that's what Gary is studying and researching on this. But he has found that date starts the new cycle. And then we watch what the upper air patterns are on that date and then over the next 30 days. So one thing we can be assured of is this big, and it's very good with big signature storms, this big trough and this big upper low that's going to be parked over the Great Lakes or north of the Great Lakes. That'll probably be one of the signs of the first cycle of the LRC. So when we go deeper into the winter season and that sets up to our north or somewhere near that area, that's going to funnel in some windy and blistering cold weather. So just kind of heads up on that as it goes deeper into the season and that pattern does circle back around or cycle back around. That's going to mean a lot of wind. And now if we have a lot of snow on the ground, you know what we're talking about. Well, if we don't, then it's just the wind and cold. So,
and if we get that cold early before we have snow as an
that's
insulator,
yeah,
we're going to see our frost go fairly deep into the ground. Now, ice fishermen are rejoicing in the hopes that we do get that cold weather without snow for a while to create some nice, clear, solid ice. That would be great.
So again, we'll see. Again, we're just starting this LRC cycle, and it's starting off dry, and it probably will for 2-week stretch.
Right. Outside of minor, insignificant events.
But then after that, I think things do start to kind of flip a little bit, and then we'll see how that all shakes out.
Well, and again, we'll know more here as we get to do our show special where we talk specifically about the LRC and the upcoming weather, and we'll overlay that over the calendar and see when are the times to pay attention.
And we'll be doing that sometime, probably second or third week in November.
Yeah, I was going to say probably end of November, and by that point we should hopefully have an idea of what's going on. But if it's anything like last year, the full cycle didn't completely reset until that 10th day of December.
But we had enough. We knew that the month of October and the first part of November, they were pretty stormy. So, and then we kicked in even a stormy period in December too. So, at least we knew that.
I want to take some days off, you guys. I can't wait forever for us to pick the day we're going to do this. Goodness.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this year pans out. We don't want a drought, obviously, and because they're hard to break.
Yeah.
They tend to expand more than they do contract. So, and we're starting to see that expand not only across North Dakota but South Dakota into Minnesota. This is really starting to expand now. So we need a more active storm cycle coming in here over the next month.
We really do, and we'll see what happens. I've said it many times. Harvest is going along great. There's going to be a point, though. We've got to have some moisture.
Right.
Absolutely.
Definitely do. Well, when we come back with Weather and Ag in Focus, we're going to talk about agro-terrorism. What's that? Well, you're going to find out. And are there any increasing concerns about it? Bridgette's got all the details that we might not want to hear but need to hear. So we'll touch on that and so much more when we return.
Save now on premium mattresses, pillows, bases, and linens at Accord Comfort Sleep Systems directly across from Olive Garden. Find the best mattress design and construction with our exclusive technologies such as our Accord Comfort Reflex Layer, ensuring proper spinal alignment. Our Thermodyne Climate Control fabric is perfect for the couple sleeping hot and cold. Buy today and take it home today, or free delivery in the FM metro area. Accord Comfort Sleep Systems. You're going to love sleeping with us.
Did you know that periodontal disease is the #1 health problem in small animal patients? Hello, I'm Dr. Calderwood, a veterinary dental practitioner at Prairie Winds Veterinary Center. By 2 years of age, 80% of dogs and 70% of cats have some form of periodontal disease. If you notice a change in your pet's playful habits, breath, or facial swelling, there's a chance that your pet is suffering from mouth pain. Prairie Winds Veterinary Center can help. Call us at 701-356-5600 or learn more at prairiewindsvet.com.
It's Jay and Ronnie from the Coffee Club, and we're here to tell you the original My Slippers are almost completely sold out. My Slippers has a brand new all-season slippers, slides, and sandals for as low as $29.98.
This is a limited time offer, so go to MyPillow.com, use promo code WDAY, and get all new footwear for as low as $29.98. All-season slippers are made with exclusive 4-layer design that you won't find in any other slipper.
They are finished with a breathable fabric so you can wear them all year round. Slides and sandals are made with patented impact gel, making them ultra comfortable and extremely durable, guaranteed. They will make the most comfortable footwear you'll ever wear.
So just go to MyPillow.com or call the number on the screen and get your very own all-season slipper, slides, and sandals as low as $29.98 with promo code WDAY. This is an introductory offer, so it won't last long. Order now. Call 800-875-0644.
People with chronic lower back pain have often tried lots of different things, and most of those things just don't work, and they're searching things that do work. Non-surgical spinal decompression is a type of treatment done with a specialized machine that has very high success rates, and we're lucky to be one of the few clinics in the entire state that has it.
I had horrible neck pain due to a degenerated disc. I went and saw Dr. Zimmerman. It got better. It got way better. You know, at the clinic, it is very easy to schedule, and they work around any schedule you have. He has actually fit me in prior to the weekend if I have a relapse, so I'm not in pain over the weekend. So very good care there.
The success rate for decompression treatment based on research is just about 90%, although I think ours is higher because we incorporate other types of care to address the dysfunction. Whether it's the neck or the lower back, decompression treatment can be effective for a wide variety of conditions that include bulged, ruptured, or slipped discs, pinched nerves, sciatica, and joint arthritis, and sometimes can be effective in just a few treatments. Find us at theclinicnow.com. That's theclinicnow.com.
Think pink and help make a difference, because during Pucklich and Valley City's Why Pink event, we're donating $100 for every vehicle sold and $10 for every service repair order. Help us reach our goal of $10,000 donated to the JRMC Cancer Center and Sanford Roger Maris Cancer Center. So think pink and help make a difference as we raise $10,000 during our Why Pink event at Pucklich Chevrolet Buick GMC in Valley City.
The Jay Thomas Show.
Whoops, try again. Hi, you're caller 12. How you doing?
Pretty good.
Man, I can't believe you got through, man. You got yourself. You ready?
Yep.
People are dying to get their hands on these. All right. You got a 9-gram foil pack of Heinz ketchup.
The Jay Thomas Show, weekday afternoons at 2 here on WDAY.
Welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. I'm meteorologist Justin Storm here with Chief Meteorologist Dean Wysoki and Ag Director Bridgette Readle. And you're listening to us on WDAY, or you're watching us on Acres TV or on our Facebook page, Weather and Ag in Focus, or also YouTube. If you'd like to join in on our conversation, you can always reach us on our studio line, 701-293-9000. Again, that phone number to call into the studio is 701-293-9000. And we're going to head over to those phone lines right now because we have Greg on line 1. Melanie, hold on. I'll come to you right afterwards. Greg, welcome to Weather and Ag in Focus. What's going on?
Yeah, all this talk about barge travel, down the Mississippi or up the Mississippi, either way, I guess, got me thinking, back to the school days where, of course, one of the most famous canals was the Erie Canal, of course, built in New York. And of course, they wrote songs about this and had ballads and all this stuff. Can you find out how much barge traffic and how much river traffic is still going on this canal? That's it's got to be 200 years old or close to 200 years old.
And Greg, you're talking about the Erie Canal, right? You're wondering about the amount of barge traffic on there?
Yeah,
Yep.
Okay. And how long is it? And I think it's about 400 miles, I believe. And how wide and how deep and
I think some statistics might just be easily found, and we'll do a little bit of work on that for you. We might not have those details for you today, but I know if you pay attention this week, for all who are listening right now, we'll bring that up. Dean and I will manage to gather up a few details for you on the Erie Canal, and we'll share those here over the next couple of days because you just never know what fun statistics we might find.
Yeah,
so,
thanks for calling.
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate
back
that.
to school days. Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Great.
And Melanie, looks like we lost your call. Give us a call back, 701-293-9000. I'm not sure if you hung up or if we just got lost there, but feel free to give us a call back at 701-293-9000. We'll take that question. And if you have a question, again, give us a call. Join our conversation. Even just a few comments, 701-293-9000, or you can reach us at weatherorag@flagfamily.com for our email during or after our shows.
And some real quick, I just did a real quick search on the Erie Canal, and 200 years and still going strong. That there is still shipping going on the Erie Canal. But Greg, we'll kind of dive in deper on that and find out more on that over the next 24 hours for you.
Well, and let's face it, a lot of traffic in that northeast part of the U.S. is going to work through that territory. I don't think they've been at a lull for water like the Mississippi watershed, but currently I'll be curious to see what their traffic looks like over there. Some nice communities on the Erie Canal.
Yeah, it was a very good question. Should we move back to our ag topic that we were teasing ahead of time? What is agro-terrorism? Is this just some really angry version of terrorism, or?
Well, not to be confused with agro-tourism. So if I say that accidentally, please stop. They are two very different things. I had the opportunity to listen in on a conference on agro-terrorism. The FBI defines terrorism as an act with violence. So if someone were to introduce a disease into either our livestock arena, and by arena I mean their livestock industry, or into our cropping system, that could affect our food supply chain. But there's other little things that are currently going on that are digging away at our agriculture. And some of them are simply the activist groups that are out there. So if you're a farmer or a rancher and you're listening, it would behoove you to pay attention to a couple of things. One is called the Animal Agricultural Alliance, and the other is Protect the Harvest. They are both organizations dedicated to sharing information to agribusiness and farmers about who are the bad actors out there, who should they be aware of, and how can they protect themselves. Additionally, cyber attacks have been on the increase, whether it's with an agribusiness or on farms themselves. So if you're not locking up your Wi-Fi and you think, I'm on the farm and I'm 20 miles from town, it shouldn't matter. It can. It can indeed. And so we want to pay attention to things like that. Also, guarding yourself on social media. It's not easy for farmers to talk on social media. They feel like, I just want to quietly go about what I do and not share that. But we're going to have a guest next week, from Grand Forks, Leah Hansen with 10 Acre Marketing, and she's going to talk about how and why farmers should share their story on social media in order to avoid those folks that tell your story for you, but they do it inaccurately or in ways that can actually damage your farm. So that can be very important too.
I want to back up to this. I'm just drawing a blank. The cybersecurity on farmers, the hacking. When you think about cyber attacks, it's generally on, either a company, a power grid, or a company with, a country power grids, or a company with money, credit card information.
Sure.
They're going after the credit card information so they can sell it off to individuals overseas, over in China, and whatnot. How does this work with all of what's going on with the farmers? Why would they be targeting someone in the agriculture community? What are they going to be after by targeting a farmer in a cyber attack?
They can go after your farm records. Excuse me, I seem to be losing my voice all of a sudden. They can go after your farm records. They can also, if you're an agribusiness and you have things automated, they can get into your automated systems.
Right, and that happened. That happened to a friend of mine. I don't know if it was because of a cyber attack, but we spoke with Brad just a couple of weeks ago, and he had some corrupted files on his computer for one of his tractors, and it wouldn't allow his tractor to do what it was supposed to do on these automated fields. It didn't know where the crops were located at and whatnot. So that's a really big, kind of scary thing that they'll go after that, and they'll hold all your information at a ransom, or possibly they want money in exchange to get all of this data that took time and a lot of hours to put together.
Or lock up your grain handling systems so you can't move, unloading, etc. Those types of things would be a problem.
And has that happened locally that you know of?
Not locally, but we have seen it. There's a couple big cooperatives, grain cooperatives in the Midwest where they did have that problem.
So the targeting mainly.
Very.
Right. So, but farmers can just like any company, you can buy equipment or something to prevent the cyber attacks on your
It can be just
property.
as easy as using password protection on your Wi-Fi and on your records, because more and more of your financial records go back and forth with your bank electronically than what they used to do.
Right. Well, Dean, why don't we take another quick look at the forecast here?
Let's give Bridgette a break.
Yeah.
Here, Bridgette, I've got some vodka here. This will clear you up right here. No, I'm joking there, obviously. But yeah, the forecast here. Real quickly, these next 2 days, seriously, no joke, get out and soak it up. Whether you're a lot of people have today off. If you're a government employee,
not us.
Not us.
Me and Bridgette are actually, we were going to go hit the golf course up here. Well, I think our tee time is at about 1:50, so we better get going, Bridgette.
I must have missed my invite.
Well, someone had to cover the show.
Right.
Today is a great day to get out golfing. Today and tomorrow. 60s today, low 70s tomorrow. Strong cold front hits tomorrow night, tomorrow evening actually, and that's going to sharply drop our temperatures gradually into the 50s on Wednesday, 40s on Thursday. We'll briefly try and bump it up back into the 50s Friday, Saturday, and then sharply colder with temperatures in the low 40s for highs on Sunday. And we're getting some indications from a few of our computer models. Yeah, could have our first snowflakes of the season. Nothing measurable, but we could have our first snowflakes of the season.
Dancing crystals
dancing through the air on Sunday. It's going to be that cold, especially favoring northern Minnesota. But I wouldn't be surprised, possibly, down into the valley here.
You know, I've been teasing on it, and not that I don't want more nice days, some nice temperatures in the 60s and 70s with sunny skies, light wind, but I think I'm just ready for the snow to come. Call me crazy. I am ready for the snow.
You know what today is?
What is today?
And I'm not joking.
You're not. Oh.
This is serious. Actually,
real talk.
Kyle had this on his midday news. It's National Kick Someone in the Butt Day. So if you keep talking like that,
right?
Both Bridgette and I, yeah. So just watch it.
Jacob, can we cue up some cricket noises? Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Don't worry, we're not done with the 60s. Even after we turn sharply colder this weekend, as I said, third week of the month, we're going to start see that ridge breakdown, it looks like, in the western part of the country. That will allow more systems to come into the west coast. Good news. And normally that'll flood us with some warmer weather. So we're not done with the warmer weather. Now, how long that pattern stays put is another question. And this is all part of the LRC. This is all part of the cycling pattern. So, you know, are we going to have a wild swing in weather this winter and into spring with these up and down temperatures? We'll get a flow coming in off the Pacific, and then it drastically turns in from Canada. That could be part of the LRC cycle that's starting to set up.
Absolutely.
So we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, thanks for letting me recover there for a moment. I'm not sure exactly what happened.
That's okay.
But let me go back to the agro-terrorism for just a second. And one of the tips that came out of that conference was getting to know your FBI agent. Let me just tell you that is not something I have put on my to-do list in the past, is I should know my FBI agent. But there are 56 field offices across the United States, particularly if you're an agribusiness. If something happens and you're having a cyber attack on your software systems, you're going to be pretty emotional, and you may not want to make that your first call to your FBI office. So perhaps you want to be proactive. Introduce yourself and your organization in advance. And I think about that a lot with livestock operations. If someone got into your barns and wanted to be nefarious, you could have damage, you could have missing animals, and when frightened animals are released from a barn, they can cause injury to themselves and others. And so you're very worried about them, right? Their well-being relies on you, the farmer or rancher. So it would be worth your time to actually visit with your local FBI agents and let them know who you are and where you are.
And I just got an email from Andrew on a conversation we were having a little while back ago about the barge traffic. He wants to know, how far north do the barges go up the Mississippi? Do you happen to know that offhand?
We can get barge traffic that comes up to the Twin Cities area. Generally speaking, though, from there, like fertilizer would get offloaded and moved by rail or by truck to a lot of our area. But think about it, the Red River at one point in time was actually heavy steamboat traffic.
Right,
so we've had that happen, you know, all the way up to Winnipeg, where we did move major amounts of goods on the water at one point in time before we had a lot of railroad activity.
There you go. That's interesting. I didn't really know how far up they went. I wanted to assume that it was the Twin Cities, but I wasn't certain. I remember being down there at the Science Museum. They had a little thing set up on barge traffic, but they never said how far north it would actually go.
We're not just here for weather and ag, but we're a wealth of unusual history. Except for the Erie Canal, which Dean and I promised we'd work on.
Yeah,
so we got that
that's
part.
something we got to work on.
We'll get that. I do have a couple questions for you guys. We know that it is pork month, and the pork producers are keeping a close eye on all things good and great for them. What do you think is America's preferred cut of pork?
Chop.
We usually talk about
loin
beef.
chop.
Oh, it's the chop. It
Yep.
totally is. And food folklore suggests that New Year celebrations should always include pork or pork and sauerkraut to ensure good luck and prosperity for the coming year.
I've never heard that.
Neither have I.
Mark your calendars. Buy your groceries early.
Can we do it without the sauerkraut?
I should hope so,
I'll
because I'm
pass
not
on the
having it.
sauerkraut.
Yeah, I'm not having that. Also, just a couple of fun facts for you. You will see that spotted swine that are large with black spots in their body, some of those characteristics of their breed are also their feed efficiency, their rate of gain, and their carcass quality. And commercial producers really appreciate spotted females for their productivity, being a docile animal and very durable. So, other thing to know about the swine industry overall that maybe we didn't think about before today.
Interesting.
I'm all about, I don't mind beef for sure, but I have no problem having a good pork chop.
So pork chop over bacon?
No.
Yes, for me, I would.
No, bacon.
Okay.
Yep. I would totally take the chop.
Unless you're wrapping that chop in bacon.
Oh, see now.
Are we on to something here?
see,
Or should we
now
just
we're
switch
talking.
Now you're double dipping, Justin.
cooking with WAG?
So I've often told you guys I had ag ed in high school and FFA. I never took a home ec class. I swear to you, we cooked more than our home ec compadres across the hall because we were forever doing meat processing. We'd have local farmers that brought in their deer. One guy shot a moose and brought it in and had us butcher it for him. So we were constantly cutting up meat, and then we'd have to learn how to cook it too. So that was worth my time. I got a lot out of that.
Well, when Weather and Ag in Focus returns, we'll touch more on the forecast, what national weather is doing. We still got a little more ag topics and headlines to go over. And if you want to join our conversation, let us know how the harvest is going, ask us any questions on a past segment or what we're talking about currently. Feel free to reach out to us, 701-293-9000. Again, that phone number, 701-293-9000. You can always send those weather-related questions or topics to email during or after the show, weather or ag at flagfamily.com. You can also find us on YouTube and Facebook, Weather and Ag in Focus, where you can watch us live. And well, maybe you should just go on there and watch us live. We'll be right back.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer WetJet. With Swiffer WetJet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer WetJet, the faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
At CDW, we get to be productive. It helps to avoid
interruptions. Oh, I hate those. Oh, please continue.
Well, with an Acer Chromebook Enterprise device, you
great machines.
Yes, and they're even better when they're pre-configured by CDW experts to support uninterrupted productivity wherever your workforce goes with
4G LTE? Nice.
And a battery that lasts
14 hours. Yep, great. Oh, sorry, you were saying?
IT orchestration by CDW.
People who get it.
Find out more at cdw.com/Acer.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending Ooma and their all-in-one phone, video, and collaboration solution.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Hi, Lacey here with Precision Concrete Cutters. You've heard our ads about egress windows. They add sunlight, they provide an escape and add value to your home. All true, but I'd like to let you in on a little secret. You can add an egress window anywhere, even if there's no existing window. I know this because at Precision Concrete Cutters, we specialize in egress window installation and replacement. Precision Concrete Cutters, 701-280-7038. That's 280-7038.
Grains are up, led by wheat. For the American Ag Network, I'm Richard Bristol with this closing market. Grains have been up all day. Wheat has been leading the way and tickling its 70-cent limit up price. Beans saw double-digit support but pulled back early in the afternoon, while corn did the opposite, and we saw a little bit of gaining momentum as the afternoon went through. Livestock complex fats and feeders were lower on the day, while lean hogs put up some good gains and saw some triple-digit support in the deferred contracts. When we look across the ocean, the only bridge linking Russia to Crimea and Europe's longest bridge used to transport troops and equipment was bombed over the weekend, leading to a flurry of attacks across Ukraine during rush hour this morning, targeting civilians and key infrastructure across the country. Russia fired cruise missiles at cities across Ukraine the week. Bridge attack raising in the marketplace.
They'll have you laughing right along with them. They're Bonnie and Friends.
I still can't swallow a pill without eating something. I kind of hide it in what I'm eating.
Oh, you're like a dog. You put it inside your food?
Oh, you're like a dog.
Well, that's how you feed dogs their medicine.
Is
you
that
put
how
it like
you
in a
feed
little
dogs?
piece of cheese or something.
I'm now a dog. Sticky face. A little name calling on the show.
T nicknamed me Sticky Face this morning because I missed my hair when I was doing some hairspray. My eye was stuck to my cheek.
Bonnie and Friends. Catch them weekday mornings beginning at 5.
Energy prices. Demand for electric blankets has surged across Europe as consumers seek ways to keep their thermostats lower this winter amid record high prices for energy. We're also going to see USDA production estimate updates on Wednesday. Let's get a look at the closing commodity markets. December corn up 15 at 698 and a quarter. November beans up 7 at 1374. Bean meal October up 580 a ton at 410.70. Bean oil October down 50.
Hey, welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus, and we're going to touch real quickly on national weather, and there's not much going on in the lower 48. In fact, the only advisories are situated in New York State with frost advisories, freeze advisories in the areas of Maine. Other than that, the rest of the nation void of any watches, warnings, advisories, a little bit of fog advisories in areas of Washington, Oregon, but a little bit of rain in southwest Texas where they have flood watches out there. And those areas need the rain. So that's good news. There's going to be quite a bit of rain falling over the next 3 to 5 days in parts of Texas in areas that desperately need it. Going to switch over real quickly to the drought monitor index. And from southern Minnesota through parts of southern South Dakota into northeast Nebraska, northwestern Iowa, and into southwest Nebraska, much of Nebraska under some form of drought conditions. Some of that exceptional to severe, stretching from western parts of Nebraska down into western Kansas and southern Kansas. Much of the central plains and southern plains under exceptional drought, which is not good news. And that extends into portions of West Texas and northern Texas as well. And then your typical extreme to exceptional drought on the West Coast, much of California in drought, much of Nevada, much of Utah. We need a good old-fashioned El Nino winter, which we won't have this winter. But typically those bring those storm systems just marching into the West Coast. Can we get those with a La Nina pattern? We can, but it's pretty rare. Mm-hmm. So we'll again, and this will all boil down to the LRC. From the Mississippi eastward, very little in drought conditions. A few spots abnormally dry, but it's all those tributaries that are feeding into the Mississippi. That's why it's running so low, because of all the drought conditions out to our west.
That's a problem.
And I really don't see a big change in that as we head into the upcoming, at least early fall. And again, we can flip the switch and start marching these storm systems in off the Pacific. That would be good, because then that would be part of that LRC cycle that repeats itself into spring and summer.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. Good
We're going to need some of those coming through rather soon.
And I think the good news is we're getting indications now that La Nina should start to weaken, January, February, March of next year.
Okay.
So that would leave the door open for a neutral season the following year, or possibly flipping the switch to an El Nino year.
Okay.
We haven't had one in a while.
We have not, actually.
No.
3 years. Well, this will be the third year.
Third year of La Nina. Yeah, that's almost unprecedented. So
is every year either an El Nino or a La Nina?
No.
Is there one every year?
It can be neutral.
Okay.
So it's neither one. Neither one is influencing the weather to any certain extent. So that'll be just kind of a neutral event.
Okay. Good
where
to
the
know.
Ocean temperatures aren't either above or below normal. They're pretty much where they should be.
Right.
Well, as the education continues, I have a couple of reminders for folks. One of them is we talked on Friday with Randy Nelson, Clay County Extension Educator, about the Master Gardener Program. And NDSU hosts one as well for North Dakota. That deadline is this Friday. And so for folks who want to participate, we want to make sure, next Friday. They got an extra week. Application deadline is October 25th. If those folks out there listening are interested, if you would like me to send this link to you to your email, please reach me, ag@flagfamily.com, and I will share the link so that you can apply to the Extension Master Gardener Program. Classes are going to start in January. And personally speaking, if I was really retired, that's a project I would probably do. I think I would enjoy the education and the outreach with it. Maybe someday I'm going to get there and be a big kid and do it.
Well, we're almost at that level right now, Bridgette.
In our minds,
Master
Justin.
gardening.
In our minds, yeah. We hope for the best. I mean, I know you can grow a heck of a tomato plant.
Just one, though. Only one.
But we might have to do more than that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Feeling you might be right.
Okay. So speaking of growing things, I have some trivia for you guys. I love it when we do trivia because we always pick up things for each other.
A lot of fun.
What state produces the most wild blueberries in the country and comes in second for maple syrup production? Take a guess.
Oh,
I'm going to go Minnesota.
I'm going Maine.
Maine.
Oh.
Justin got it. That was Maine. And so for all you blueberry lovers, that's the place you're definitely going to want to go. All right. So I got a couple others here for you. If we were to think about what state rates second in the country for the number of farms and yearly hay production.
For yearly hay production.
Mm-hmm.
What state?
What state?
Minnesota.
Kansas.
Oh, Missouri. So Dean, so close. It was Missouri. Not done yet. Okay, so this time, expand your horizons just a little bit. This island's native crops include coffee, bananas, mango, sweet potato, cacao, avocado, and mandarins.
I'm going to go Hawaii.
We also have a territory,
Guam.
Puerto Rico.
I knew it was somewhere warm.
Yeah, somewhere not here
Yeah.
is where we're raising the mangoes, gentlemen. So for those of you who are maybe taking a chance to watch us in our live stream, don't forget to pay close attention. Maybe you have something that you could win from us that was produced by Productive Alternatives out of Fergus Falls, Minnesota. Quality items. You just got to watch the live stream to see what it is.
Yes, you definitely do. You never know when we're going to do it again, but that's going to end it for us today on Weather and Ag in Focus. Make sure you join us tomorrow, though, because, well, maybe we'll do something similar. Also, we have a guest on tomorrow, Mike Rabinski, brewmaster at Zwangzig's Brewery. Is that correct?
Zwangzig's, yeah.
Zwangzig's?
Yes. It's a really neat story he's got about how he started that business and how he became a brewmaster. So it'll be fun having him on tomorrow.
So make sure you join us 1 to 2 o'clock Monday through Friday. Weather and Ag in Focus will be back tomorrow. The Jay Thomas Show is next.
970 WDAY AM and 93.1 FM, Fargo-Moorhead.